The Democrat-made shutdown mess is finally almost over. Finally almost. Who wrote that? Anyway, in just about 2 hours, the House is set for a final vote on reopening the government and ending this 43-day fiasco. Carolyn Levitt's breaking down all the damage done.
Hundreds of thousands of federal employees have missed their paychecks. Tens of billions in wages and benefits were withheld, impacting vulnerable families. Millions of low-income Americans missed their SNAP benefits. According to Airlines for America, an estimated 5.2 million travelers have had their flights disrupted over the course of the Democrat shutdown. It's hard to recap all of this without asking a simple question: why? And the answer to that question is pure partisan politics.
After getting zip on Obamacare subsidies, Dems are shifting blame, revealing all the pain was for their gain.
Tim Kaine has said publicly that there were another 5 or 6 that were waiting in the wings and that were encouraging them. And if one of them had not voted, somebody else might have stepped in.
We actually lose leverage in our fight for Americans now that we have capitulated to Donald Trump.
It undermines the narrative that this was a Trump shutdown if 8 Democratic senators could have ended it.
And if you're going to see Grandma this Thanksgiving, it could still get screwed up. Sean Duffy is warning the flight mayor will still continue while taking a shot at Mayor Pete.
There were 85 near misses, Sean, in the Potomac before the DCA air crash. Pete did nothing. He spent $80 billion on DEI and on climate change. He lowered the standards for training at the FAA. He focused on pronouns at the FAA, changing those things, but never worked to fix the air traffic control system. Didn't work on bringing more air traffic controllers into the system. And so what he's trying to do is rewrite his record because he wants to run for president.
Once again, Sean in the real world. Dana, we were saying this, that the Dems were leveraging pain and suffering of the public for political gain, and now they're not even hiding it.
They said that in their own words. You can listen to you can go back and listen to all of them. In fact, when military families were having to go to the food banks and weren't getting paid, they were like, well, it's the only leverage we have. Mm-hmm. And they continued, and then they caved. They don't get anything for it. And now it's kind of interesting to watch them turn themselves into pretzels to try to say that they won the shutdown.
Yeah.
As if there's some participation trophy or moral victory that they got. One of the things about the air traffic controllers that's of great concern that won't stop after the shutdown is Sean Duffy said that before the shutdown, we were averaging about 3 to 4 retirements per week from people like aging out or deciding to go do something else. Okay, so they're leaving the system. Sean Duffy from the jump has been trying to speed up how many people can get approved and accredited to be an air traffic controller. It's a complicated job. And of course, we want them to be at the top of their game. So it takes a while. What he said yesterday was that 15 to 20 retirements per day happened during the shutdown. We don't have that kind of air traffic controllers to spare. And we had a guy on Newsroom today who said that he's been looking at traveling around the world. He said that our air traffic control system in our airports is just abysmal and just so second rate compared to the rest of the world. So this shutdown cost us money in the short term. It cost a lot of pain for the families like the air traffic controllers who couldn't get paid, the military members who had to figure out a way to ask family to help them or to go to a food bank. And now you have wine moms complaining that the shutdown is ending because the Democrats caved, as if it would be better that military members don't get paid?
Because the wine moms don't feel the consequences,
No,
just like
drunk.
the politicians. They're drunk. You know, Harold, this raises a point. Good to see you, by the way.
Great to be with you, as always.
Yeah. I did a search, because I do research before the show, and like many people, I couldn't find a single shutdown before 1980. And I thought to myself, why did it happen? Then I did some more research. It happened during the Carter era when his attorney general had reinterpreted an 1884 Anti-Deficiency Act, which forces agencies to halt operation without funding. Then suddenly shutdowns became routine, Harold. Why? It's baffling. Why can't we just go back before 1980 to the way it was?
You raise a great point.
Thank you.
For the last 48 years, Congress has only passed the required number of budgets, meaning the appropriations bills, the spending bills that they are required. The only job they have are to pass the 13 spending bills each year. For the last 48 years, you know how many times they've done it on time, which is before September 30, because the fiscal year begins October 1st? 4 times. I happen to be in Congress one of those times. This is a failure of a system. I appreciate Secretary Duffy, and I think he's right. But this challenge with our air traffic system and the fact that we're not educating enough air traffic controllers or incentivizing this the right way has been a longstanding problem. Now, this shutdown obviously didn't help any of that. But just step back for one moment. I differ with those, as I shared yesterday, that Democrats who are saying Democrats didn't get anything for the shutdown. And even some of the narrative that has come out of friends here on the network. At the end of the day, there was no vote on ACA ever scheduled. There's now going to be a vote on whether we're going to extend the subsidies in mid-December. Number 2, President Trump, throughout the shutdown, maybe he was joking, but he hinted that some government workers would get back pay, the ones that he liked, and the programs that were not Democrat, he would often maybe jokingly say. We got that guaranteed. 3, during the shutdown, Mr. Voigt, the OMB director, and President Trump and those at the White House laid off many federal workers. There were court challenges to it. As a part of this deal, Tim Kaine secured that no more firings between now and the end of this CR. Now, this CR, as you well know, only goes to January 21st. So they still have
I did not know that.
They still have a fight on their hand. And at the end of the day, those who vote against the ACA subsidy extension, they have every right to. And we talk a lot about members of Congress. Members of Congress, we have the best health care in the country, if not the world. I want to see members of Congress, Democrat and Republican alike, say that they don't want to give health insurance to those who are the least and the last hardworking Americans. We can kick off all the illegals you want. The vast majority of people on the ACA are Americans, born in America. Congress, they get the best. They were paid during this shutdown. And for Democrats to say they should not have ended, it's easy for them to say because they were all getting paid.
Yes, I agree with you completely. But Kennedy,
Aye.
My question is, this is just going to happen again. It's like all this other intricacy stuff, I wasn't even listening. But I'm
Facts again, these facts.
No, what I'm talking about is like, it's going to just happen again and again. Why can't we go back to before 1980 when this didn't happen? What does it say about the current state of our government, our political system, that we're just saying, okay, we're just going to live with this thing, and every like so many months we're going to have a government shutdown?
Because there are no consequences.
Yeah.
And, we would have to go back to the Reagan era. Obviously, it just shows what a wonderful president Ronald Reagan was. But also, he was the one who stood up and said, fine, you're going to go on strike. I'm going to go ahead and fire all of you.
Yeah.
I wish, and I think a lot of people in the country feel this way. I wish we could fire just about everybody in Congress because it's an abdication of their responsibility. So they need to balance budgets. They need to bring programs back into alignment with reality and costs. And the ACA, this is not a benevolent program. This is something that was destined to fail because it was set up to be really, really expensive down the road when Obama wouldn't be in office anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's not a win that we're going to extend these subsidies. I mean, think about it in terms of other things that we had during COVID. We had mask mandates. We had schools and businesses shut down. We had churches shut down. Should we shut those things down again just because that's what we did during COVID? No. That showed that we had a bad response and it created broken systems. The ACA was broken to begin with, and the fact that it had to be propped up during COVID, and the fact that you have to use the same scaffolding in order to keep people insured just goes to show it was god-awful in the first place. So instead of hearing Democrats whining that, 8 of their members caved, why not have those people who are frustrated sit down and think of something better than a single-payer system, which, I'm sorry, Bernie Sanders, that's not going to work in the United States of America. And, it's like the costs are not worth the risk of having this happen again in January. And,
So you would not have voted for the this thing that's passing Congress right now?
I mean, as a libertarian, I wouldn't have voted.
God, I just want to make sure I got it.
I'm actually secretly, Harold, don't tell anyone this, especially on camera, but I am on Rand Paul and Thomas Massey's side here. For a number of reasons, but philosophically that we need to make government smaller and,
I agree.
Less likely to tank everyone's future if one party takes one issue and shuts the whole thing down and holds the country hostage.
All right, I saved the mediocrity for last. Jesse,
Yes.
I would like to hear your thoughts on this matter as it relates to feet.
I do have a solution for the plane stuff. You take the train.
Ah.
So last week, my flight was delayed 3 hours and then another hour because of a bomb threat. I almost missed the 5. I went down to D.C. on Monday, 2-hour delay. So what we did, we took the train. Amtrak Jesse loved it.
Yeah.
Okay? When you fly, Greg, you have to get there an hour beforehand.
That is true.
And they always tell you, please put your seat in the upright position. I don't ever touch my seat. I'm not the kind of guy that leans back and messes with the person behind me. I'm never pushing that little button. But every time they tell me that, I go boop, and I go up a little bit.
Yes.
I didn't do that,
Right.
okay?
Yes.
They're always telling me, because I get the first seat,
Yes.
humble brag. They're telling me I have to put my tote bag,
Yes.
not effeminate, my tote bag, LL Bean, above the compartment above me. All right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
why don't you
fine.
get the
I can
second
leave it
seat
at
then?
my feet.
Just do that. Get the second seat, and it's not a problem.
Okay, Johnny books my travel. I
Oh,
don't have time
Johnny,
for that
get
kind
it
of stuff.
together.
Johnny, if you're listening, book the right seat. Also, the woman serving us food, it's like she's an acrobat trying to balance this thing with the coffee, pushing it over my seatmate's lap. Everyone's going to spill.
Yes.
Then you go to the bathroom, and it's like being in a middle school locker. You can't move. You're like this.
Yes.
You always come out there with a problem. I took the train. You get on the train, you take off immediately.
You and Joe Biden.
The bathrooms, very spacious.
But that bathroom, that thing shakes. You
Shakes,
got to be
man.
careful in
Yeah.
there.
If you do it right, Harold.
That's why you have the handicap thing there to hold on to.
Yeah.
All right? And the Wi-Fi always works on the train. Always works. And then you
How
get
many
to
times
DC
have you been on this train?
a couple times.
What if you have to go to
recently.
Los Angeles from New York?
Okay, if you live in the Northeast, this is the solution.
Thank you.
I did that without saying ACA.
No, I love what you did there because this topic is just
It's almost finally over.
Yes, almost finally.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.